Okay, folks, welcome back. Hopefully we're going to pull a hat trick here. We're going to try 3 nights in a row of videos from Blue Label Bastards Wargaming. Again, my name is Jason. Welcome back. And so the last video I put out was what I got in the mail for my Chaos Dwarf army, which was the 3 Bull Centaurs and then the Bull Centaur Torok. So what we're going to look at tonight is another Forge World model, and this is going to kind of be a quick review. I'm not going to talk quite as much about the model itself. Or the model statistics itself, but talk more about the quality of stuff that came from Forge World, the good and the bad in this case. So hopefully the camera quality is a bit better this time. I've got my wife's nice Nikon out. I may use this one even though I'm petrified that I'm going to break something on it. So what did I end up getting? I had said before that I'm doing kind of a, or I'd like to do before I leave Vienna, a big battle against my friend with his HRUD, which he's using the Mantic Space Rats, and I think he's going to use the Chaos Space Marine book. And I wanted to have a joint Imperial Fist Black Templar army, and I'm going to do a separate video on the army list and solicit some input and feedback from you because I'm not a 40K expert. But I did want to have a big centerpiece model and one that just came out recently. I really like working on vehicles, and so what I ended up picking is this bad boy. It's a giant bag, and we're going to go through and open this up. But this is the new Forge World Fire Raptor gunship. I just thought it was an awesome looking model. Sorry, but I can't stand, and I always get the name confused. It's not Storm Talon, the goofy looking, in my opinion, goofy looking transport that the non-Forge World one. What I went ahead and got instead was, let's see if I can find a picture of it here. Here we go. Here's a picture of it. So what this does is it takes the pieces from the model and frankly makes it look reasonable. Doesn't make it look like a sneaker with wings, kind of stretches it out some. So pretty excited about this. It's an awesome looking fig, with the exception of some of the Warhammer Forge models though. Everything I've gotten from Forge World that's big is all kinds of bowed, and you gotta heat it, and I knew this coming in, and I took a quick peek at this model here, or the pieces here, and I have to say I'm a little disappointed. But let's go through it and talk about the good and the bad. So obviously here's the directions you get. This is the back page. But this one, it just lays out. This is the plastic component you get. So essentially you get a good chunk of the other kit, which name escapes me. And then here is the resin pieces that you get. Basically you just combine those 2 kits. So, and then you've got the directions here, and they're actually not too bad as far as Forge World directions go. I mean, this here, that's pretty good, right? It's not too bad. Let's look at the bag itself. It's a giant bag. I'm going to go through the plastic pieces here pretty quick, so I'm going to take the bag off the table because it takes up a whole lot of room. So here's just the plastic parts, and you're gonna apologize here, but this is gonna be driving me nuts this video, and I should have been a bit more prepared. Let's just look really quick and see what the name of that stupid ship is called that I can't remember the name of. So I'm gonna say that's probably in heavy support. Storm Raven, yes, okay, Storm Raven, ugly Raven. Sorry if I'm offending anybody. But it looks like here you might actually get the full kit for a Storm Raven. Maybe the wings are missing. Nope, they're the wings. I think you get a pretty good chunk of the Storm Raven. So there's not really, I'm not going to go through this. This has been covered enough. And all Games Workshop kits are, the plastic kits are really high quality. So I don't have any questions really about this. As I build this in subsequent videos, if I do, I'll let you know. But for now, these look just fine. So let's go through what comes in the rest of the bag. I'm just going to randomly kind of pull up pieces here, but I want to start with the ones that kind of chapped my hide the most. Or when I saw it. So here is how they delivered the side fuselage pieces they kind of taped them together here, and you can already see, hopefully you can see here on the camera, the bow that's in them. And yes, I know I'm a sucker if I'd ever believed that there wouldn't be a bow from Forge World. And one of the reasons I didn't get the Storm Eagle, the transport variant, one, I like the guns on this one and the side turrets and the rules. But I heard that that was a terrible kit and this one was so much better. Well, looking at this stuff, I'm going to have my work cut out. So let's go ahead and try to get this off. Camera's in the way. Okay, let's separate this out. And again, it was shipped just like this with this random piece of cardboard between the two. I'm not sure why they did that. But you can see the bow that comes in this. Now, looking at the model itself, it's not bad. It's just there's this, look at that crazy bow. But you got to straighten out and get everything to line up just right. The cast itself looks okay. It's a little disappointing. So that's one side. This side, let me take the rubber band off this. I'm going to have to use rubber bands and probably a lot more, I think, because just to keep these parts, even if I straighten them, they're probably going to be a little crooked. But again, I'm going to see if this shows up or not. Focus. Focus. We decided to stop autofocusing. Let's get this out of the way. Oh wait. Well, we'll see. There we go. I don't know why this thing's looking out over here. Anyways, so yeah, looking at the parts, you obviously get a lot of extra fluff stuff here on the ends. The casts look okay. It's just the crazy bend, which I know I should not be surprised about, but I'm still always a little disappointed when you pay that much for models and this is what you get. So here's another bag, and this bag appears to be various sundry parts, the two turrets that go on the side. I'll post, you will have seen a picture in the beginning of what the final kit looks like, so let's open these guys up. Other things, and I did kind of peek at some of this stuff beforehand, so I kind of know what's in here, but and I have to say, this stuff looks pretty good. I haven't tried assembling it much. These are the hatch covers for the side turrets. Okay, you'll pardon me for just a second here. I gotta recenter the camera's focus. And we're gonna... So there's the turret covers. And these are pretty good. And they're not too bowed, I don't think. Again, I haven't dry fit the turrets themselves. But they don't look too bad. And here's just the arms for the gunners. Yeah, you're not really helping me out here, yeah. Sorry, folks. So just regular arms. I was hoping for a little bit more, because you can use this in both 30K and 40K. I was wondering what Mark armor they're going to give. And it looks like they gave Mark 4 or better. But here's one of the, you can give options for autocannons or heavy bolters, quad heavy bolters. So these are really nice sculpts. Here's some part for the aircraft. I don't know what it is. And so these go on the side. I don't know if it's in this kit. No, it's not this one. So what happens is you kind of have a central piece, and then each of these go on the outside, and it makes the ball turret. Reminds me of World War II B-17 kind of thing, B-29. So these all look pretty good. I don't see any obvious bubbles. They appear to be cast reasonably well. Here's some extra pieces that glue on the top of the fuselage, or maybe at the front of I think they go on the front. These guys might be the ones that go like right here. So that's this. And I think this is the back ring that you use to attach it to the fuselage that goes in here, and then you can spin the turret itself inside. And those aren't too terribly bowed. They're bowed a little bit. Here's just some other pieces. All this stuff kind of looks okay. This goes in the front. Again, you've got a bunch of flash. You can just pull right off. That's not too bad. But what you have here are the two, where's the other one? So here's the two Avenger cannons, I guess. I forget what they're called in the thing. These look pretty good. They're not too bowed or anything. There's not bubbles, but yeah, these are all right, I think. There's some stuff you got to scrape out the inside, but again, pretty good. More extra stuff. I think these are the auto cannons that you can put on each turret, and these are nicely straight. You have a wicked. No, you can see this. Let me see if I can get close with this. Nope, didn't like that. Okay. Anyways, there's a wicked mold line right here. A lot of that'll be scraped off, but that's I think regular for Forge World. And just some more hatch covers. This is the bottom of the ball turret, I think. No, this one goes right behind the cockpit, right on the top. More quad heavy bolters. Probably in the front of the aircraft. There'll be a targeting sensor or something. Here's some of the, and I wonder why they had to do these in resin, just some extra engines. I wonder if you could have just taken the plastic kit, but if they could have, they wouldn't have done this. So again, I haven't put this together at all. Okay, so here's, if you can see this one, another, so the cannons, it's pretty well bowed. It's not bad, but I'm gonna. You have to be careful with this stuff for reasons I will get into here in a minute. You can see the bow on this one. You know, you have to make sure you heat it up. An extra piece that I can just toss in the trash. And you've got some extra landing skids. I'm probably going to do it with the landing gear up, because I don't think that this thing's going to be landing a lot in combat. It's not a transport. Here's an extra arm. The one thing with this one, let's see if it shows up. Come on. Come on. Nope, you're not going to do that. Okay. I'm not going to keep trying to kill you guys with this. In fact, let's just stop this for a second. All right, we're going to come right back. I switched the camera settings, hopefully bring this in a little bit better. It still doesn't show up really super well. But there's a bit of a bubble and a notch taken out of the top of the shoulder pad. But I'm not going to spend a lot more time, and then just more autocannon stuff. So let's just quickly dump this back in the bag. Again, that set wasn't terrible. A little bit of bowing and a couple things, but for the most part, this bag o' stuff, chock full o' resin, was not in terrible shape. There's a couple things in there I didn't like, but nothing that that couldn't be fixed. And as I continue to talk to fill up space while I dump everything back in the bag, please bear with me, and let's grab another bag in here. So this is the other part of the ball turrets, the inside parts. These actually all look pretty good. Let's see, focus for me, come on, come to daddy, come to butthead. So you get two of these, and as you can see, you've got kind of a, and I am not a armor expert, Space Marine armor expert, but it looks like you've got kind of a compromise between the modern stuff and the 30K, because you're supposed to be able to play this in both Warhammer 30K, Horus Heresy, and 40K. But it looks pretty good. And I think this is such a big piece of resin, it'd be really hard for this to get bowed. And then you have one more, essentially it's exactly the same thing. So these all look good. They are, looking at this, exactly, come on camera, help me out here a little bit. Exactly identical. And then, I think this is for the landing gear. So the landing gear would pop out of here and it'd get attached to the bottom of the aircraft. And that's just these two guys. So they all look pretty good. I don't see any obvious mold lines with this. So again, that batch was okay. No complaints about that. And what comes out of the goodie bag next? This is where it kind of starts to get a little ugly. So here you've got a bag with a lot of like the canards and the extra wings, and then some of the extra hull components. What do we have behind door number 3? Okay, so here you've got looks like an engine nacelle and I mean, it looks okay, no problems. The one thing that did kind of weird me out is I'm not sure if it's going to show up. You've got a big old mold line here, but that I guess you can kind of sand off. But in here, I'm not going to try to. Every time I try to do this, it doesn't work for me. Okay, camera doesn't like that. Apologize, folks. You've got just a random kind of blob of resin. Like it looks like this piece got glued to this piece. And for something that's like an aircraft, you wouldn't see that in real life. And maybe it'll get covered up once I put it together, but it just kind of weirded me out a little bit. So there's one of those and one of these, and they both look the same. They both don't have any real problems, so I'm going to put them aside. And then I think this is one of the top pieces. This is a pretty sizable piece of resin. And looking at it, it's actually not too bad. It's not obviously bowed. It's got a little bit, I'm trying to squint at it here. It's got a little bit of a bow, but not too bad. But that's a pretty solid piece of resin, so you wouldn't expect that to be terribly bowed. But this is where it starts to get bowed. So I don't know if you can see that. This is something on the fuselage, I'm not quite sure. Might go. This stuff you can still bend it and you can still heat it up, but it's pretty well. The quality is really good on it. There's not any terrible mold lines, so you can tell that the mold is still good, but that's pretty well warped. And here I think this is the back hatch. So if you had the two engines right here, the back hatch goes, and then the door would be right here. I'm not sure if it goes like this or what, but that's got a pretty decent bow in it. I'm not sure if you can see that. Sorry, again, still experimenting with cameras on the channel, folks. So, but it's pretty well warped. I mean, there's some stuff that you'd have to go over and just sand a little bit. But that's going to take some work, and that's a thick enough piece that it's going to take a while to fix that. This is the one, though, that drove me nuts the most. This piece. This piece I've already played with, and I've already managed to screw up. So you can see, from there it doesn't look bad, but if you look at it this way, that's the bow you get. And as I was playing with this, I'm like, it's not even supported here. You've got this random piece of resin, the vent for it. And I kind of went like this, and it immediately already snapped. But the problem now is it snapped right in the middle here with this crazy bow. And I'm a little worried that how am I going to get this straight and make sure it matches up okay? 'Cause, I mean, that is crazy bent. So I'm a little worried about this one, and this is the piece that let me see if I can grab. Where's that picture? So this is this piece right here, I think. So it's going to be front and center. You're not going to really be able to cover it up, and I can fix the crack, but I'm worried about getting that straight again. So this is one of the first pieces I got out, and I was really disappointed in this. It's kind of like, and I'm no expert at making molds, but I really think they could have poured that differently so you didn't have this crazy bent part. So there's a pretty big bend there on this piece that you're going to have to kind of I'm going to have to kind of straighten out. And then there's some of the smaller side parts like I showed you in the picture. And these aren't, this part really bends down here. It's not terrible, it's just going to be a little bit of extra work. And that one, they've got a lot of mold extra stuff in here, and it may be a bit of a miscast, but nothing terrible. Too terrible compared to some of the other stuff I've seen. There's another one of those, maybe I missed one somewhere. An interior door, I think this is, and this has got a pretty weird bend in it. I'm not as worried about this because I'm debating what I'm going to do with this model. I was thinking about lighting it, lighting the cockpit, just get like a red light, so kind of shining inside from instruments, and maybe the engines. And so I was going to use the interior to put the wiring and the battery pack. So I wasn't worried about painting up the interior. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. And there's this one. I mean, that is bowed. And again, we'll see. I will do a subsequent build video on this project to let you know how easy it is. The first video will probably be me washing and trying to straighten these guys out. But I mean, I think everything is doable. I can fix most of these things. It's this is the one that I'm worried about the most, and the fact that this is already broken. My fault that I was playing with it too much, but I still think that I was disappointed that Forge World, I guess, allows for, or again, I'm not enough of a mold making expert, a resin expert. I know that, you know, oh, this isn't bad, try building a Thunderhawk, or, you know, whatever, a Titan. Those are really bad. This is, you know, walk in the park Kazansky compared to some of the other stuff that you have to do. Yeah, that might be true, but this is probably the most sophisticated kit that I've built thus far, and it's a bit daunting to have to go through and try to fix some of this stuff. And okay, so here is the bottom part of the fuselage. So you've got the two walls here. This would be the front, and those, it's keyed here for, come on camera. It's keyed here, and those were the two cannons hook in the front. So this is the back part of the cannon. You've probably would have, you know, the shells falling out here. So it would be, and then here it's keyed for the flying stand. And what do we have left here? Not much. Of course, you've got the flying stand, the aforementioned flying stand, and that's it. So that's one of my next big projects. Again, this is going to be a centerpiece model. I'm pretty excited. Let's see if I can cheat and just zoom in on this. Here we go. So I have to say it's a pretty badass looking model, or it could be. We'll see if I can put it together the right way. You can see the cannons in the front. So the reason I got this model and not the transport, I could use this as a count as if I wanted to, but what I really wanted with my army was something that had a lot of anti-infantry fighting power. Let me try that again. I wanted something with a lot of anti-infantry capabilities. And the nice thing is with this, you get the two Avenger cannons in the front. They're twin linked. I think they each has 4 or 7 shots. It's pretty decent strength. The ball turrets can fire independently. So I kind of have a vision of Ride of the Valkyries coming in. It has no transport capability. It trades it all for guns, but it's got the ball turrets on the side, and then it can launch 2 missiles per turn in the wings here. And just you know, I'll do a separate. I think just the back of that looks pretty awesome. Here's another shot of it. And you can see how they integrate the plastic from the Butt Ugly kit with the resin, and they make it look so pretty. I just hope I can make it look that pretty. So, folks, this is my big 40K project. I hope to start working now. I just want to get these out of the way. There's a couple quick videos. What I want to do now is do like a campaign intro and a challenge to my friend who is a subscriber. I'm not sure how often he's watching, but I'll have that out there, and I get to play around with making kind of a more narrative video and play around with some of the special effects with my editing software. So, folks, I'd welcome your thoughts on this. Do you have similar Forge World horror stories? Any tips other than the obvious to trying to make this? Let me end this with a nicer picture. Here we go. That's what it'll be looking like. I'm going to be optimistic on this. Any kind of crazy tips? You know, what are your horror stories on trying to build something from Forge World? This is the biggest kit I've done from them so far, so I'll let you know how this goes. So again, folks, like if you're so inclined, leave a comment, leave a question, leave a criticism, subscribe. Subscriptions are always welcome, and we'll catch up with you soon. Happy wargaming.